Hello everybody and welcome to the ETF2L Season 52 Top Division Week 3. I'm Rook and I'm joined by Nighty as we get ready for our earliest match of the week here between CUBISM and the Plucky Luckers. It's definitely going to be an interesting one here today, Nighty. We've got, some names that you'll definitely notice from, well, Prem Past and other, high division and other sorts of games. And I think it's definitely going to be one of the more interesting ones we get.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to this one. We've got two players I'm very much looking forward to seeing the pairing and the combo of the players of Eon and Mac. Big fans of those two, so yeah, really looking forward to see how they get on. Especially since Sunshine is our first map, so we'll see lots of good DM coming out from both teams.
Yeah, definitely excited to see that. But you're obviously more excited about your pick'ems, man. I can feel it. You mentioned it before this. Guys, just excited. It's a great way to get people involved, and shout out to the guys who were involved in picking that up. But it's definitely true that we're looking to see a decent amount of DM here. I think in particular, the thing I always look forward to when we have Sunshine on the brain is that mid. I love seeing good teams be able to kind of rotate around, play against each other in that. I think it always makes for the most exciting gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely right, and especially since this map is kind of a bit shorter. Mm-hmm. You'll often see loads of like coast to coasts, like one epic swing from a last hold into a last push, and they're always really, really exciting to see. So Sunshine is a map for me that never disappoints.
Yeah, the thing is, right, is you do have to be careful though. If you don't kind of commit hard enough to destroying the enemy team on this mid or on this second, that loss can be difficult to push. But teams have got a lot of experience nowadays. People are getting better and better every single time. But even so, getting through the sentry, getting through all the other positions can sometimes be very, very difficult. And I think it's definitely interesting to compare the way Europe plays this to the way the America plays it, because America, it's coast to coast every single time. It barely feels like anything else happens, but we do get bogged down a little bit. But I think it gives this map a little bit more of a bite to it. It means that there's a little bit more going on, and it does mean that teams can make those comebacks if they find the right opportunities. But we know both these teams. We know that these players are very skilled, and that they're unlikely to give openings where you can kind of make that comeback happen.
100%. But even still, as you were mentioning, how well both teams hold. Sometimes they can both get stuck, but we are getting underway here, so we're going into our first mid of the game.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see how this one goes. Mac is... I feel like he's a little fast here. Going to be there a little earlier, but won't manage to find any damage onto the opposing demo. They should be setting up well for their team, as already you can see CUBISM are pushing forwards here.
Yeah, 100%, but Cool goes down immediately. Great pressure from the side of the Plucky Luckers, and they're forcing him to choke, and it's starting to come apart here, as they're forced having to go probably back to last. Silv's peeking the second, see what we can do, but Lupus going behind in this valley area, see what we can do, but not going to be finding anything. And yeah, it's out to last.
Yeah,
that was a brilliant mid.
Yeah, they were really hoping to get something from Lupus there. CUBISM trying to get some sort of space, some sort of control over here, but Mac and the gang, they are just pressing forward, pushing in. There is Uber on the side of CUBISM, but with Silvers going hard. Does go down, but trades out. CUBISM are holding strong for now, but they are even taking down Mac. This means Plucky Luckers will just be sat on this second here. CUBISM don't find that a little bit more. They really want to look for a chance to push in here, but it's even Ubers, and Schmidtshot will have to back out with the rest of their team. They are going towards this last.
Yeah, they look like a point where they really, really wanted to play out, but there's just too many spawners coming up. And Bloke does go and gets a good amount of cap time by himself so far, distracting everyone on that left side. Now here comes Silves, looking to try and pick up something himself, but not finding anything. Smile also just trying to find something, but no Ubers popped yet. They do find themselves in a player advantage, but not for long, as we settle back into a staring contest again on last.
I'm really interested in that one, because the Plucky Luckers, they got a pick. That could have been huge for them. And there were no off-classes for them to deal with. I thought that was the perfect opportunity for them to commit here. But
they get the force!
Manages to find Def here, get the force and everything. Well, that's another kind of opportunity you certainly could look for. Likey, yeah, they take down Bloke, but this is now a timer for Plucky Luckers to push back in.
I mean, they could even wait for the spawn time and have Bloke commit late. So it's a good opportunity just to take that pick early and try and get in. That sentry gun, though, is still come up on right and level 2. It might give them some trouble, but we'll have to see when they come in. Likey has come up on the sniper, looking at dungeon. But from the looks of things, we're going to get underway. They pop in through right here, coming out. They do manage to get the sentry gun down in quick order, trapped out right. Getting Scout on point. They still have the sniper up poking through left, but not finding anything so far. Def, the first one to fall on this last push. Again, great cap down again. It's half capped. And they won't just be able to find the cap here, and they do. First round goes the way of the Plucky Luckers.
Yeah, I mean, the projectiles were just too much for Cubism to get out of that spawn. It made things oh so difficult. And the positioning, that was obviously key, right? People always talk about the Uber and like getting picks, great, really important, but the positioning is certainly it. So love that Mac didn't overextend over the point, knew exactly where they needed to be, was very confident and just sat there, dropped out those stickies and set up their team for success. Well, last time we saw this mid from them was pretty darn dominant. Cull overextending and getting caught was pretty big. Let's see if the Plucky Luckers can find a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's a less active mid for the minute. Both soldiers taking belts out here. They're applying much more pressure. Cubism getting a lot of pressure here now. They've taken down Mac, and at the moment they're just trading players. Bloke also going down. Currently they've got Cubism trapped in their calf, but that's not going to matter. They're going to try and push out and trying to find any picks that they can. And there's been a pause. Yes.
Yeah, it won't be right here, I believe. It'll be in the future because of the way STV works. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right? The Plucky Luckers got really solid positional advantage, but losing Bloke was a real problem for them because it meant that actually keeping Cubism back with only one soldier in that calf is just, it's so difficult. They just weren't able to achieve it, and then it just, pushed on forwards. You will get a resume, and Sylves gets cleaned up, and that's a win for Cubism. After what happened in that first mid, I was a little bit worried that they were going to struggle, but they managed to come back a little bit, and they're sitting pretty good in this game so far.
Yeah, Sylves being the sacrificial lamb, definitely in that thing, just to make sure that his combo gets out, and both have mediguns. But here we go, Cull coming up on the spy. Maybe they've spotted this from the rocket spam. Doesn't get hit by the two rockets there. And let's see what he can do. He is pushing his way onto flat. Again, no one suspects so far. I think he's been spotted now, and he goes down. Then they're going to start applying pressure through Calf here.
Yeah, this was tragic. Oh, they lose Schmidt shot as well as Bloke jumps through. This is just the absolute bee's knees for the Plucky Luckers right now. They managed to find an opportunity for themselves, move back in. Sochin does back up, doesn't get forced in this situation, but they've lost so many players, and the demo's quite far forward here. If there's a commit from the Plucky Luckers here, it could be huge.
Yeah, it could be. But they're applying great traps. They do get the force that they want, and now it comes a trade. But it doesn't matter. Likey's getting great damage onto the opposite demo in choke, and they can't get in to make the most of this exchange. But they're going to come through choke anyway. They know there's no Uber available, and they want to try and flip that point back into their favor. Bloke coming high, nearly goes down, landing in choke safely with his medic to heal him. So far, only SNH and Def down in this fight, but it looks like the Plucky Luckers are just comfortable to leave this and go back a second.
Yeah, they don't commit too far forward. They know with that trade coming through, they are now at a disadvantage because it was so slow, but players going down, and it is both demos and, well, one soldier now advantage for Cubism, but not for too long. Yon going, oh, so low here, gets, smile, sorry, I'm a bit confused by the camera there, but no, does remain alive, but this is a decent disad now. That's going to be 30%. Question is, do Cubism know that? If they do, they should certainly commit in here, but Lucas going down might slow them
Bloke is behind,
a little
though.
bit. Yeah,
Bloke
this could be huge. He's in a great position as well, and no one knows where he is as well. The demo doesn't see him. Here's the jump. No, he doesn't, but gets body blocked. Nicely done there by Schmidt shot to save their team.
Yeah, I mean, that still might just buy them the time they need, hoping to get that Uber up in time. And they have come in. They have committed. Eon does pop back, and it's looking like a bit of a sorry situation here for Cubism. They're all caught in the latter half of the map, and at the moment, the Plucky Luckers out on top. Bloke buying just enough time for them to get that exchange back in their favor.
Yeah, nicely done, honestly. They managed to, well, keep their Uber up just in time, push back out, take down a couple players. Now they're the ones setting the pace. It's going to be pretty much even as well, so this is exactly where you wanted to be. After what was disad, and enough disad for the Plucky Luckers, will be their chance to push back on out. Likey over on the sniper here, wanting to catch someone as they come out, as they come in when they're still sitting in the spawn, but doesn't find anything. Not swaps back on over to that scout, and they're all over on second.
Yeah, I mean, pretty standard. Now the point is going to flip in the way of the Plucky Luckers, and now they're going to try and see what they can make happen here on second. Whether they send a sack in through choke, or if they try and make a value play. At the moment, it's just a staring contest again. Silv's getting buffed. Maybe he looks like he wants to take the sack in, checking for stickies. And maybe he decides to go here. Yes, he does. Landing on Demo gets a great... Can he juggle him? No, he can't. As it's a nice double. But here comes Bloke cleaning up. He managed to find Cole and Death. And the rest of the team coming in to try and clean house here. It's 3 players down for Cubism. Only 2 down for the side of the Plucky Luckers. And here comes the Uber from Cubism, looking to try and find picks. Great flashes onto his damaged players. And now it looks like Cubism leaving through their lobby. They decide to stay and see if they can get a little bit of anything else. Bloke coming in, getting spam on to try and keep him through Shutter. It's great damage here in Shutter, but they do live in the end.
Yeah, it doesn't quite come through here. Lupus is jumping forward, but the Plucky Luckers get out by the skin of their teeth. A couple more players going down as another nade collides with SNH. And it is still advantage for Cubism. But with Sylphs jumping like this, just needs to hit that air shot, but it doesn't happen this time. Sochin gets them and their team through. It's even Ubers again, but the Plucky Luckers beaten back towards second. Smile wants to step up. But it's no dice for them right now. The Plucky Luckers back to the drawing board and perhaps putting another bet on the table.
Yeah, I mean, what looked so good for them originally, they managed to find the picks that they need. They pressure into last... Oh, and Cole going down to a sticky trap, excuse me. And now we're back to mid. But what I was saying is, yeah, they managed to find the pressure in the 3 picks they need to get onto their second. But Cubism, believing in their DM and believing in their team just enough to buy time. But here comes the Uber exchange out from the Plucky Luckers, still on this mid. They're finding 2 players so far. Are they going to find the 4? There they are. And it's looking like it's going to be back onto second. And Bloke bombing him through lobby. He's thirsty, wants to find some picks here, but he can't find anything and bombs back out to choke. And now it looks like it's just going to... Second is going to exchange hands yet again, and we're back on Cubism last.
Yeah, slick non-committal from Bloke, and the Plucky Luckers now in control yet again. It's going to be this even Uber, but last time they just spammed the gun and got away with it. Even when the pressure came on in, it wasn't all too much, but this time it's Mac who falls, and the Plucky Luckers advance will have to be stopped for now. They're going to have to reset, get ready, get that demo back up, and move from there.
Yeah, just... There's no point overcommitting on getting too greedy once your demo or an important player goes down. Just spam the doorways, make sure that you still can hang on to second, and if they commit, you are in position to punish.
And they are indeed. Rest of the team is getting ready to set up now for Plucky Luckers. Smile, making sure they have control over that lobby, but gets sniped by Likey, who peeks on out here. They do try and catch them. Instead, they get called for it. But no kill onto that. Instead, it's Bloke diving all the way into the backline, gets the force onto Death, and this is what they oh so sorely needed. The Plucky Luckers step away, go, okay, that was an advantage. We didn't even lose any players. It's our time to shine. It's the Uber in their hands. And they're just setting up, getting that buff onto everyone, making sure they play everything by the book here as they jump through, take down the sentry, and lock off that right-hand side spawn. Understanding positioning is key here as Bloke jumps on, takes down Death. And now they should look for a chance to go onto the point, but with the heavy there, it's not so easy. And instead, it's Cubism putting a lot of pressure on right now, and Smile and Eon are doing nothing right here as they get taken down by Cubism.
What looks so good initially by finding that force and having that player living turned just very, very sour. That heavy just cleaning up on those kills. I mean, it's such a hard thing when that post fight comes out and there's a heavy up. It's so difficult to maintain pressure when you're getting hosed down for 70, 80 damage in a couple of seconds. But now it just looks like at this point. The Plucky Luckers are happy to give mid and set up on second, but maybe, as I say that, they're going to come in and try and maybe find some picks, some entry. They do find Death, so that's going to slow down Cubism, so they can make at least a little bit of a dent in this massive Uber disad they find themselves in.
And again, Bolt steps forward, looks for a chance here, really wants to pick away, but only gets some damage onto Mac right there as Lupus is trying to get away, I think, for some pressure behind them. Smile is stepping up, they clear the sticks, it's SNH who falls instead, and Schmidt's shot is pressuring on, but with Cole and Sojin going down! The soldier duo of the Plucky Luckers dominate here and completely stop CUBISM from finding an opening. Sylvs and Bloke are looking fantastic in this game.
They are, but Schmidtshot is currently behind. Maybe looking to try and cap that point, make things a little bit harder, try and get a last cap, waiting for them to commit on last. Do they know he? They know now, and now starts the scout fight for second. Are they on? He gets finished off in the end by Bloke, and now here come the side of the Plucky Luckers. They found the Uber. They've managed to pop the Uber here. I don't think they'll find too much for it. The mid going back in their favor, but they have found 3 picks. So this is a great opportunity. CUBISM have invited them forward, and we'll see where they go from here.
Well, that was the Uber advantage, meaning they can just walk on in, and I think CUBISM weren't necessarily expecting that push to really come through. The Snipe is going to try and come through, like he's been pretty successful with it so far, but with so many sticks coming towards him, it's not going to be an easy shot, that's for sure. Pardon me, and the Plucky Luckers this time are the ones building.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, Sylv's trying to find something, but both soldiers going down, and at this point now, you need to get out of dodge if you're on the side of the Plucky Luckers. No, they do find the traps now, and they're just pushing out onto that last. Schmidtshot still on this heavy. I don't know how long he'll be staying on that, but Cole found great damage, and the Uber now comes out. This is great for the side of CUBISM here. They don't even need to pop. They haven't found the pressure back, but they pop anyway. And now all the Plucky Luckers have to do is try and live with their med, who's got dangerous at 30. Eon just barely by the skin of his teeth getting out of that, and now we're back on a second hold with a heavy still up for the side of CUBISM.
Yeah, I really liked it from CUBISM to actually pop there. They wanted to get the pick on Eon, and look, if Eon weren't so solid, if the rest of this Plucky Luckers team weren't so well coordinated, that would have been a drop. That would have been a kill. Would have been the med going down. But CUBISM instead find themselves stuck on the second with a player behind, an even Uber here at best. With Lupus falling, it's a real problem right now. Just that one player down in Lupus, but it means you can't cover quite as much, especially without a soldier spamming away. It's just so difficult, and there was still a player behind. However, with the heavy still for Schmidtshot, I don't know how this is going to play out. I feel like he should be able to just lock down some of these players, but Smiler's the one pushing forward. They use the Uber force out here, and the great thing about this is they could pick up Cole. That heavy is kind of stuck in at the end of this Uber. This could be really, really impactful. Schmidtshot is so darn low here. The Plucky Luckers are just going to take down Sojin. Mac sticks away, cuts off the retreat angle, and this is the problem with the heavy, is that repositioning just isn't possible.
No, I mean, you're stuck in a rock and a hard place there. And now this is the player advantage that the Plucky Luckers need to get in. And Cole goes down for a great bomb. Def also goes down. Schmidtshot just hanging on. I don't think it's going to be enough. And our second round goes the way of Plucky Luckers.
Now, I like the idea, right? I like the flexibility he can run this heavy for a little bit, but I think it really was a problem there, because that's where the heavy is always kind of the most awkward, is during these Ubers, because you have to Uber them, otherwise they're going to die, and as a result, Cull, they can't move to somewhere else and take the medic somewhere else. So that's why Cull really got picked there. He was quite far forward, yes, but you just didn't have the leeway to work with.
And as you say, it's such a slow rotation, so you just get stuck with it. But Cole much faster. Fast bomb coming in. They don't quite find Mac yet, and so far just going to be the trading of those damage here. Mac still low, just got his arrow, and now we are finding ourselves back into the DM med. Both soldiers going down immediately with some great rockets, and now they're bombing into Valley, trying to find anything they can. 3 players down for CUBISM, and they are sent packing back to their last. But they're still hungry for blood. They want more. They're really, really committing into lobby for this. But now they manage to get out and reset on their health, and it's going to be an even last hold from the looks of things. But never mind, they haven't even capped mid. Bloke coming forward, trying to find that med pick, but it's not going to happen. So actually, I think at this point now, it's probably going to end up in as a second hold.
Yeah.
But then again, Mac has managing to lay people through traps from Shutter. One jump coming forward, it's not going to find anything. Lupus sent packing into Dungeon. Death going low in lobby. And now they're looking to try and regain some of that territory back on second. But Cole going down. The Ubers have been exchanged. It's a much better player out here for the side of the Plucky Luckers, and they've committed into lobby, but won't find anything yet. Lupus locking down that shutter, but does lose his life for it. It's still 3 down. They're looking to commit here now. Sylves in through right, onto the point now, but they just not capped up fast enough for him to take any cap time on it. And they're still trying to get this scrappy fight to work. Smile going on a rampage and tearing through a scout and a soldier, and nearly picks up the med. And that is another round for the Plucky Luckers.
Yeah, honestly, mad props to them for punishing Cole's positioning here, because it has been suspect so far this game. But the part I really want to highlight is Sylves and Bloke, right, taking that high ground, showing us that DM skill you were kind of talking about at the start, and just how important it is in the way that they can just win the soldier v soldier, catch a player in a difficult position, and just make opportunities out of essentially nothing for their team.
Yeah, 100%. And immediately on this mid, like, they do find Mac, but they do find Cole in response. And it's still 3 players down going immediately again for CUBISM. Their mids have been very, very shaky, and they're just going to have to get out. Another falls. And now it's back out to us, but the rest of the squad are chasing. They're trying to find Soshin. He goes down to 60 HP. He's out through lava. Maybe he's going to find his pack, but he gets chased down by both scouts. And that's going to be the mid-fight 1 for Plucky Luckers. They haven't even captured mid yet.
They're just feeling themselves, man. They're getting frag after frag. Every opportunity they could darn well ask for. Sure, they don't get Lupus there, but that would be greedy to ask for. The Plucky Luckers are just looking at every opportunity and going, well, what can we take here? And, you know, maybe they could be thinking about the points a little bit more, but when you're killing meds repeatedly, it really doesn't matter that much. They're going to get second here. They have 80% ad right this second, and the Plucky Luckers now are just looking to cross the I's, to cross the T's and dot the I's as they cut away that sniper sight line. They take down the sentry, and Mac locks off the right-hand side, and this is just comfortable for them. Sylves is pressuring the demo, does not manage to kill Cole in the end somehow here. That could be important, as now they are down a player, but with Schmidt's shot falling, they have a lacking ability to keep that point clear as Smile just plays around in the air. There's some very low players here. I think Mac and Eon are just gone from here, and SNH does not get much more than that. They will have to back out. The Plucky Luckers squander what should have been a great opportunity.
I think the just not being fast off these caps is coming back to bite them. Because they have these situations where there are so many players, but the flank scout, I mean, as much as they want to get involved in that DM fight, your job at the end of the day is to go and cap those points. The high bomb coming in, first managed to find the force again onto Sochin. Bloke is doing so well in these high bombs. Just every time he's up in the air, he's finding something. And now
it is just that, right? If at first you don't succeed, try again. And that is the Plucky Luckers through and through. As you kind of say, they've just found opportunity after opportunity. And again, I want to highlight that that is down to Sylves and Bloke.
Oh yeah, I mean, they've had so much impact this game. Bloke, especially in his high bombs, finding the forces, and just picks in general. And now they've just come across the point, made it nice and easy, and they've picked up another round for themselves. Very, very dominant here from the side of Plucky Luckers.
Yeah, they didn't even need to kill the medic the second time round. The Plucky Luckers, as you say, looking so darn comfortable. I'll admit, coming in, they definitely were the favourites to win, right? With a roster like this. I mean, this is, you know, this is top division, as we're now calling it. And I think the big difference is that I think all of Plucky Luckers is, like, very experienced in Prem, and that really places, or at least relatively experienced in Prem, I feel like. It puts them in such a good position to find these opportunities, but it was a trade. SNH does go down, but it's Bloke jumping again, and as you said before, when he jumps, well, likely there's something found. They do take down Cole for Bloke here. If they take it slightly slower, this will be great for the Plucky Luckers right now. They do just that. Def goes down, and now with lacking numbers, CUBISM step back.
I mean, much rougher mid here for the side of the Plucky Luckers. I mean, most of the time they've been able to roll their way into second, but this time, no, they'll just settle for a little bit of a stirring match on this second point, trying to break this hold. But the Uber does come out here for the side of CUBISM. They're trying to chase down Eon here. Eon managing to live on the slit over, but never mind. He goes down. Sochin finds the arrow, and now that invites the side of CUBISM to just come forward and try and take whatever player they can. They're back onto mid. Can they find the scattergun shots onto Mac? Yes, they can. And they're out through second. Unbelievable arrow there from Sochin.
What a miracle shot there. Beautifully done. And, I mean, look, that's what CUBISM are going to need if they're going to pick this one up. The Plucky Luckers sit back on second here, but Cole moves forward. So aggressive as usual. But this time it might be an opportunity. Unfortunately, it's denied as SNH trades out to take down the demo. Well, that's perfectly fine by them. A small advantage for CUBISM right now as they step up to the plate. But it's just trade after trade. They're not getting anything major here. And with Eon and the gang just stepping back and not coming to all too much, and Mac in a position where he can kind of leave whenever he needs to, he just steps up, makes the force happen, goes down here. That's a bit of a misstep. But the Plucky Luckers escape to last with that Uber coming up in just a couple of seconds.
I think Mac is still right there. Oh, Sochin might be going down here. Amazing pick here from Bloke. Just won't give Sochin a rest. Every time he's up, he's looking for that pick.
I don't know, man. Like, Sochin shows us amazing things, and then
Likey in behind.
Like a scrub, like he's looking for it, but Mac does deny alongside the rest of their team getting that cap, and the Plucky Luckers again, they hold on.
They do, but Lupus looking here with the rifle. Can he find anything? No. Immediately taken down in Valley. And now we're back onto mid. It's full Uber advantage for the side of the Plucky Luckers.
Is indeed Mac. Bit of step forward, looking for a chance here again to set up a ton of damage for their team. He's just piling on every single fight. CUBISM? You don't want to give up just yet. They sit back on the second, they get their traps, but there's the Uber. They do have slight disad for CUBISM right now, but Sylves is the one who goes down. Cole holds their ground, and this is exactly what you needed if you're CUBISM. You lose 2 players, yes. Hold onto that Uber with Sochin. No! Oh, okay, I thought Smile just shot Sochin in the back instead. It was a couple of these other players. The force will have to come through here. Likey wants to make this frag happen. They do get Mac, but can they get much more? Even with this Uber, it feels like it's not enough to get anything other than one extra player. Smile tries to play spoiler at the end with that one, but a little grin on his face isn't enough to allow them to stop CUBISM just yet.
No, not at all. Both players buying great time for Mac to get out. Lupus not quite finding the entry frag in through Cafe, has to leave at 40 HP. And now we're back on second, it's even. You can't help but think, maybe that Uber was popped a little bit too soon from the side of the Plucky Luckers. Maybe they should have held on to it until at least got in their faces a bit. But now, all that doesn't matter, as they're looking to get in through Valley. Bloke coming in, finds the pick onto Cole again. He gets the air shot again onto Lupus. And now, here they come into lobby, looking to try and find something, a force, positioning, maybe a point. And they're looking to come into last here. They've got their flank scout capping on second. They're just looking to try and find whatever they can, waiting for that point to cap. And the force does come out, or the Uber does come out here from Sochin. And all they find so far is Smile. But Plucky Luckers do escape with full Uber advantage. And Sochin goes down for that right spawn from the track that Matt laid. It's an incredible... Just not looking at the ground. They do have a player behind trying to cap on second. But I don't think it's going to matter all that much. They're swarming into last here. It's Lupus alive on behind, but that's not going to matter. The first map goes the way of the Plucky Luckers.
Oh, it's just so sad to see CUBISM. They tried their darndest, but unfortunately, I do think that the DM skill and the soldiers in particular being such brilliant playmakers was just too much for them. They kind of struggled, right, to keep Cull alive. And I think Sunshine can sometimes be very difficult to not die in because of all the chokes, because of the bombs, and especially with a team like Plucky Luckers who are so aggressive. But it looked like a little bit of a disaster for them in many places here.
Yeah, no, I can't help but agree. It definitely... I think a lot of the problem comes in with these mids. I mean, it was very even for a second round, but after that, it just seemed to be roll into roll. Whoa. And I'd be keen to see the logs for this one. Smile spitting out 394 damage a minute. That is nuts.
This guy's crazy with it. Really impressive performance there, just moving on forward. I saw a lot of kills, but I didn't realize the damage was quite that high. Smile was just, trading in every situation here. I think it's interesting as well to see the kind of preference of these teams towards those scouts, putting a lot of beam towards them and getting a lot out of them as well. But I think the thing I really want to highlight again is Sylvs kind of managing to put up numbers like 346 alongside the rest of their team, constantly pushing things forward. And I think it just shows how dynamic a squad the Plucky Luckers really are.
100%. And anyone who did have a smile down on their pick'ems has a massive smile on their face seeing those numbers. But no, I mean, all round a great performance from every teammate. I mean, Bloke, although not having as big a DPM to brag about, those high bombs were, I feel, what created the space and the pressure for Plucky Luckers just to come in and clean up. But yeah, combining the spaceport and all of that damage coming in, I think that's the winning combo there, really.
Yeah, no, it really is. And space created, look, it's not a stat, unfortunately, that we can track, but it is a beautiful thing and so key to basically everything that goes on in here. You know, look, Sojin goes down here 3 more times, but isn't the one who dropped. That's all I'm saying. And got the kill on the enemy medic. I think it's kind of beastly performance from them.
I mean, he did drop Eon, which was incredible.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, who can say they got a drop as a medic, right?
Doesn't happen very often, to be fair. But we're coming back into this second map on Processed, and we're rolling out to our first mid. With all of this maneuverability on this first mid, I'm imagining we'll see a lot of what we saw in Sunshine yet again. Though they're finding it. Lupus finds. Oh, it's an air shot coming up from Eon. But Lupus trying to get onto that choke for that fast bomb. It didn't work on Sunshine. So far, it's not working here. And now that'll seem like a round here for the side of Plucky Luck, or a mid here, excuse me, for the Plucky Luckers.
Yeah, ignore the skyline, by the way. It is just 0-0 right now, but likely not going to be that for much longer. The Plucky Luckers hitting shots like that, feeling that confident. You know they're going to be putting this pressure on. Smile steps up after a dominant game over on Sunshine. Wants to put more pressure on, but they can't go just yet. With Bloke down, and SNH as well, they lack the ability to really push through these chokes.
Yeah, it's always an ordeal coming, trying to push through. But it is evens. They have to. I mean, if you're on the side of CUBISM, you want to invite the mistake. You want to bring them forward, and then capitalize off of any player disad that they might find themselves in. But at the moment, it's just looking like a good old-fashioned staring contest, and both sides opting to play sniper. So we might be in this run for a while.
Yeah, feeling like it's the best.
Oh, but never mind, Likey!
Likey! With a huge headshot there. You know, I bet Max absolutely kicking himself. I don't want to get picked up like that 150 onto a soldier in the back here. This is looking like go time if I'm a CUBISM player right now. Looking for that one extra thing. Likey sitting in that choke. The sniper versus sniper. Edging ever closer. As SNH is also watching here, but commits with the Uber on both sides. But no dice. Cole? What are you doing there, bud? What's going on? But they do take down Eon, so it's not all disaster for CUBISM. However, they're down many a player right now, and Sochin has to get out of there. You can see the soldiers pressing forward already, but it's Bloke who falls. Def and, well, Likey actually managed to hold on decently here just for now. Def continues, but 100 HP will fall, but it's a trade coming through. And CUBISM are just looking at every single thing that the Plucky Luckers are handing them. I was about to say they can't believe their luck, but it's just smiling on the Plucky ones right now. How on earth does Sochin fall?
I mean, Smile somehow managed to find his way getting behind in back through one and manages to get just enough scatter shots. I mean, he dies after the last one from Splash, and now it's an Uber ad push into second for the side of Plucky Luckers. Incredible job here from Smile, but they got to be looking at doors from the side of CUBISM.
Yeah, I cannot believe they managed to find that. I can't believe
Eon goes down cold from behind again.
Here. Like,
oh, and he finds the place.
Cull delivers after, I'll admit, a relatively lackluster game of Sunshine here, but the highlights keep coming for them so far this game. They go down, yes, but SNH down as well. The Plucky Luckers are sent packing, and CUBISM have found their way of making an impression.
Maybe they got confused. Maybe they think they're back onto a lobby so they can stunt out a bit on this process. But no, the incredible play from Cole. Now it's turning an uber push, ad push here from CUBISM. But somehow both scouts go down to a sticky trap. And now there's pressure forward for the side of the Plucky Luckers. They're trying to find a force, or maybe some more picks to force them back onto last. And the pressure coming out is great. Space made is huge. Bloke does go down in rollout here. They are trying to find a force, and that's what they find. Can they get Eon out? Try and preserve some of that ad. And it's looking like that's going to be a possibility. And now we're back onto looking each other through into second, sorry. But maybe CUBISM want to try and take this through. The health numbers isn't great here for the moment for the Plucky Luckers. Def coming in, trying to find a pick onto one of the scouts. Does manage to find it at the end through Lupus. But Def does take it down. So does Mac. It's a really scrappy fight here, but it's looking like mid is going to flip. But there's a bloke has gone behind onto second and makes us, maybe he can get that back cap. Bloke messing up his jump ever so slightly. He's found himself on last. Is he going to be able to cap out? No, he's not. Is he going to find a trade for his fortunes? No. And now Plucky Luckers have to come all the way back and try and cap some points. But they opt to take the Uber in, and it's looking like a disaster here for the side of CUBISM. They're losing Sochin, and they might stand to lose a whole lot more. Cole maybe taking out some great shots from Smile. It's all so messy, but in the end, it goes the way of the Plucky Luckers. That was a mouthful, and a lot happened there. I mean, a bit of a breather.
Yeah, I mean, look. Normally, when I come to this map, I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna be great. Mostly, teams know what they're doing here. I don't think either of these teams know what they're doing at all. I mean,
No.
it's a joke, obviously, but like they seem kind of lost. People are bringing out all sorts of new and wacky stuff, and it really is all over the place. This time, however, both Mac is actually significantly early here. The early pressure from soldiers could be big. However, spam onto height. Definitely a real problem for them as Bloke wants to step forward here. Gets caught with the air shot. The backup from Smile as well. Sills goes down, yes, but this is the Plucky Luckers pressing forward.
I mean, brilliant. That is a mid that we saw like on Sunshine. Like it's coming through dominant, finding those picks. Soldiers creating all that space and finding that pick onto the demo. And now, from the fruits of their labor, they find themselves looking into their last. It is even though, so have to see what they come up with.
It's going to be interesting to see exactly how they approach it. They decide to go through 3, but Smile doesn't even get Ubered, just goes for the fight, and this time Cole feels far more confident than they did over on Sunshine. That reset has done them wonders. As a result, the Plucky Luckers do not just, frankly, force their way in.
No, I mean, Cole did get taken down very well. Smile hoping he could find that pick to try and open up a push, but alas, he goes down. And they've sort of invited CUBISM to put pressure back onto them. Likey up on the sniper, not finding the headshot and gets taken down for his troubles. Sylvs still in lobby, causing trouble, and has managed to, again, buy that space. The Plucky Luckers are back into this lobby. They're finding picks. But they do get them forced into trouble, and they're coming in. But it is only 3 players down. The sentry gun doesn't get taken down. But it's looking like only a couple players are still getting in. Everyone's going to try and get rebuffed and recommit, but is it going to be enough? I think CUBISM are probably going to hold on to this one, but here comes SNH trying to find some kind of pick. They do manage to find it onto Def, and it's still so scrappy. It's,
yeah, I mean, especially with these off classes, it's definitely been some real problems for the Plucky Luckers to push on in. As you said, it is sloppy, but Smile is just able to sit away, and I think everyone was pretty much just out of position, right? Lupus just couldn't be there in time, and I mean, Sochin's just a medic, man. I mean, look, he got the drop on the previous map, but it's just nothing.
No, I mean, at that point, Smile just stands on the circle. There's no one there to stop him. That's another round that goes for the Plucky Luckers. And they're going to find themselves back on another mid.
Well, indeed. Hull's already here. This time, Mac's not significantly slower, and that is important here, but they get control over height already, pushing towards this left. Lucas sitting up there as well, some good sticks do force them back, but with Smile gone, that's a key force for the Plucky Luckers off the board, and you can already see them pushing back.
Great
that
pipes.
was so much damage. Eon barely lives for now, but Mac went down to 1 HP, I think I saw there, and Cubism do not let that one go lightly.
No, I mean... Oh, and they managed to find another pick. It's 4 down for the side of Plucky Luckers. And Cubism think it's their time. That may be their time to try and find around. Lupus already skulking about in heaven. And they're already looking to just force away on to point, and they find it without even popping Uber.
Yeah,
a
I mean...
much different round here from the side of Cubism.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like so much more control from Cubism. They found a really great mid, they forced everyone into the choke, and we're seeing flashes, honestly, of greatness, in my opinion, from Cole here. Just absolutely owned that mid fight. Cut off the high ground, a bunch of damage and spam into the choke that let the rest of their team capitalize. That really was a picture-perfect round for Cubism.
It was, and they still managed to find the players to cap the points coming in. And very aggressive, landing on that blue container, trying to find a pick, but they're not going to find anything. Bloke coming in. Is he going to find anything for his trouble? Yes, they do. They find Cole, they find Sochin, and they might find the rest of the team. It's only Def alive, and he's leaving through choke. Is he going to find anything else? No, it's a wipe. It's a polar opposite of what happened last time. What's happened there?
It really is. The Plucky Luckers are astounding, honestly, in their way to just strike right on back. Cubism were not ready for that. It's going to be an Uber now. The Plucky Luckers are just going to push on in.
Like, he is up on the sniper. Maybe looking to try to even the odds here a little bit. Trying to find that all-important pick onto Mac or onto Eon. But is he going to be quick enough? Because it seems like they'll probably try and take this quickly through 4, and they have. That sniper not seeing quite as much use now. But here we go. A little bit of cap time coming out onto the point. No one falling just yet. Bloke does manage to find his way down. But good cap time coming out here from the Plucky Luckers. That heavy, again, doing so much work on plucking down those damage numbers. And it's back to mid, their center pack in.
Yeah, really nicely done, honestly. I mean, this is why we talk about that heavy on the last, is because it's just so darn deadly in that post Uber that in any situation where you're trying to push on in, the extended damage is just too much. You can't avoid it. It's far too problematic. Def tries to hit the air shot there, but unfortunately can't channel what we've seen from Plucky Lucker's soldiers so far. Instead, Silves channels his own performance and manages to set up for a 2k here, basically, for their team. And jumps on over, gets the force. This is exactly what you need to see. Eon does not have Uber yet, but where are they? Backed out. They understand the message.
They do, but they might come back in quickly here. They do have that Uber ad, and they don't even need to use here. They're just the threat, the possibility of the Uber is forcing Cubism into very passive positions, and they're just looking to edge their way onto mid, and they're maybe looking to try and find a good exchange. They do use in the end over the point, and they do force them back into their own choke, and Sochin goes down to a nice pipe from Mac, and that's what they need. That's what they need to come forward. They just need to leave a scout capping mid. Again, that flank scout just got to do his job. But Cole just spawning now, hoping to try and make a little bit of impact here, making sure they don't cap second and roll into last. But it is still 3 down. Sochin only just coming back up. It's looking like they're going to have a nice 40% ad here on the side of the Plucky Luckers. But they got to make hay while the sun shines, and just try at the very least to build that Uber quick before their opponents have the opportunity to, and hopefully claim another round if you're a Plucky Luckers fan.
Yeah, you got to be pretty darn happy, especially with game 1. But again, that pressure coming through. Like, he is on the sniper, so this will have to be an early Uber. I think that changes the dynamic of things here. Is yes, you've got that ad, but you've now got to actually deal with the sentry and stuff and take your time, get the positioning, yes, but it could be really problematic for them to try and get on through some good jumps in, but with Sochin going down, this is looking oh so disastrous. However, Mac falls, it's only 3 alive, and one of those is the medic. The Plucky Lucker's back out here for the most part. Bloke falls, yes, but this is still going to be about, I don't know, 30-something Uber ad for the Plucky Luckers, and Schmidt shot knows that, looks for a chance here, and wants to get something, but SNH up on the sniper, wants to kill one of these players immediately. The sniper tries to get through. They actually instead take down Lupus and almost catch Carl on the exit here. The sniper versus sniper doesn't even really come to fruition, as Lucky just has to back on off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great pressure here from inside the Plucky Luckers, and they're looking to go again. It's 3 down for the side of Cubism. SNH looking to try and get that all-important med frag, but you know what? It's not going to matter. He just, to put the cherry on top, managed to find that shot onto Schmidt's shot, and it's 3-1 Plucky Luckers.
Yeah, I mean, look, when the pace of this game is this high, you're not surprised to see these rounds go in pretty short order, despite the fact that we're finding ourselves on last, struggling to make those pushes. Teams are finding pick after pick after pick. It seems to allow the game to swing either way. Let's see if CUBISM can make kind of reference to their second round performance so far.
I mean, we know we can do it. It's just a matter of, can they find those aggressive bombs early? And it's looking like they have. They have taken down Mac very early, but Def does fall very low. And at this point, if you're Cubism, you have to try and make advantage. There's no demo to try and deny you space, and you have to go forward with it. And so far, they are finding the picks, but they haven't found the Eon, and it's going to be an even second hold for the side of Plucky Luckers.
But it is indeed. They're going to have to back. Well, no,
well, never mind. They find the picks they need in the end, and and somehow Plucky Luckers managed to find the positioning to take back the mid. And it's a mid somehow won again, despite losing the demo early for the side of Plucky Luckers. And now they're looking to maybe try and get some damage, find some good opportunity to sack and go forward from there. But at the moment we're back onto. At the moment we are on Cubism's second.
Here we are again with the sniper. This time it's Lupus. I mean, found a pick onto, I believe, Mac in the earlier part of this game, right towards the beginning. He picks us again. It will be sad, to say the least. SNH goes relatively low as they actually managed to catch them on the flank here. It's good for Cubism, buys them a little bit of space and time. They're looking for a chance to get the sniper into position and find a pick, but the Uber usage comes in straight away. They take down Carl, and they are going to get the force eventually here, and they will have to back out, but they should have a decent player had here as long as they don't come out too bad on this. 157 onto that scout, but doesn't quite kill him. That full buff doing a lot of work. As the Plucky Luckers, they look to recommit. No, I thought they had it. I thought they had the positioning, but this time it's Lupus who goes down to Mac, and that is a chance to step up.
I mean, when you're looking at the health numbers there for Cubism, you're thinking, oh, maybe Plucky Luckers can play that post-fight, but it's not looking that matters at the moment. They're finding they're pressuring their way forward here. Smile maybe finding the demo, but not quite. He gets taken down himself, and now Plucky Luckers need to start running out to their mid, to their side of the point here, onto mid. It's looking quite scary. Lupus bombing in behind. Can he find anything at the moment? No, he can't. He has to come out to get his arrow. But the side of Cubism, they do manage to take back the mid.
That they do. The Plucky Luckers right now, him walking back. This game has been a tug of war. Game mode I am aware is not currently in, but you know, 5CP sometimes really does feel like that, like he steps out, provide some space to provide some control for their team, but the aggression from these soldiers is so darn much. It'll be a trade in the end. It is even players right this second, but can they get a good position? Decent amount of damage onto that soldier. Jump through has not come in yet, as instead it's the push around. SNH, however, is behind. It's a 2K quickly on in there, and Sochin is taken down as well with massive amounts of help from SNH. That is absolutely the flank scout going rampant for Plucky Luckers.
I mean, if you're Cubism, you need to be looking at all your doors. A player can't be allowed to just come in through sewer and execute 3 of your players. And now, as a result, they've invited a massive Uber ad, and they're already on their second. And this could be a round here for the Plucky Luckers if they manage to build that Uber in time and get in quite quickly. With no Uber to speak of from the side of Cubism, this could be really bad here.
It could. Mac. Session. Sets up for that Uber. They come through from 4. They find some damage, but it doesn't really lead to all too much. They get Def. Yes, they get Schmidt's shot. Okay, I lied. They took everything. 3 players down, and that's a cap in an instant.
They took
I really
down
thought they
their
weren't going to get anything.
No, neither did I. But they find that heavy that's been causing them so much trouble. on these last before the post fight even happened. So at that point, everyone just goes, "Oh, let's get in. Let's get some damage in," and as a result, they've taken a round. But now we're coming back on to mid here. I wonder again if CUBISM will try and opt for those fast bombs and try and catch Mac out. Here comes one of those bombs, decides it's not worth the trouble and fades out, and now we're back into a more standard rotational mid. SNH does get taken down very quickly, and they're just looking to take the space here, but Sochin goes down, Cole at very low health, but at the moment, all that Plucky Luckers want to do is try and save Eon. The Uber ad is going to be massive here for them if they manage it. And unfortunately not, Eon does go down, and it's a wipe for Plucky Luckers.
Oh, what a beautiful set of plays from them. They see their problems with their push and immediately fix them. The aggression comes through. This is going to be setting up to cap here. I just noted that is in fact
Schmidt's going to win it!
I can't believe that Schmidt manages to get that there. Sends them like right into the roof. And yeah, a round for CUBISM.
That's it's good tech. Just using that force of nature to make sure, no, you're not getting on this point, it's mine. Really, really good way to clap back after what was quite an embarrassing round loss from the time before. And let's see if they can't make any more to chip away into that deficit that they have found themselves into. Cull is finding himself quicker. Lupus finding a nice air shot, but won't be able to finish him off. Again, we've settled into the slower paced mid. Cull going down early. Now it's looking like the opposite of last mid. And 3 players go down early. It's just Schmidtshot and Sochin alive. Schmidtshot just in, trying to find anything that he can to salvage this mid. And is not going to find anything. It's massive Uber ad here for the side of Plucky Luckers. And they're going to move on to the second and even into last now. Trying to find anything that they can, and they're hungry for this game. They see the 5-2 and they want it.
They do. They want to lock it out immediately. The do go through. They take down Def. The Uber is used. They're just trying to block off these players right now. But Smile is sitting, waiting on the point. We'll get that little bit of Uber as the charge comes through. That was terrifying. The Plucky Lookers sit strong on that point and take map 2, 5-2.
I mean, again, since that heavy was causing him so much trouble, they were just waiting for him to peek out. And like, fine, we're finally going to use this Uber. We're going to try and clean up players before we sit down on this point and take the round. Though CUBISM did, I think they had a better showing this round. They showed us just exactly what they are capable of and what they can do. But no, I think if you're a betting man, the Plucky Luckers do take this match, and they have done in quite well. 5-0-5-2. The process looked very, very dicey at points, but no. In the end, Plucky Luckers finding that win.
Yeah, as you said, in pretty decent fashion. Honestly, I was really impressed by the soldiers, as I said, but also the glow up from Cull across the 2 games. Right, like I really felt like Cull was a problem over on Sunshine, whereas here he had a much better performance, felt way more comfortable, and we love to see it. I mean, yeah, again, Smile dropping nearly 400 DPM. Look, what could you do, man? Like when a guy turns up and drops numbers like that.
That's remarkable, to be fair. Nearly 400 DPM, and I think nearly the exact same KD, 19-7 again. On the second map, mirroring his incredible performance from Sunshine. Mac also making a huge impact. But no, I mean, very, very comfortable game from the Plucky Luckers. As you can see through logs, I mean, found the lion's share of the fights. But no, CUBISM, as you say, did have a bit of a glow up. They found 2 quick rounds. Both of them weren't slow slogs. They were like immediate, mid, second, last cap win. Which is nice to see. You never exactly want to see 2 5-0s. But no, I think CUBISM in this second map really, really put it to them, at least at several points in the game, and made it a very, very enjoyable watch.
Yeah, that they did indeed. I mean, it was a really dynamic game, and honestly, I think that's a great thing to see from both of these teams, that they're willing to kind of opt into that, willing to play that slightly faster, slightly looser play style. And yeah, couldn't have asked for a better one to cast, right? It was relatively quick and packed full of action.
It definitely was. Although Likey is known to be a massive sniper player, so unfortunately we didn't see like too much of that in this game.
We saw them on it a lot. It just kind of didn't lead to a lot because in between the kind of action, there was a lot of downtime where we were kind of posturing around, right?
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is that in the time that Likey had come up on Sniper, obviously from the side of the Plucky Luckers, they realised we have to respect it, and they use before they even peek through a door. And at that point, it's extremely hard to make any impact as a sniper. So, unfortunately, didn't get to see any of that this game. But there's still plenty of games in the season. Hopefully, we'll see some 6 sniper frags coming out from Likey near enough in the future.
Indeed, we will. Don't forget as well that there are more games coming your way. Thursday 18th, you got the Compound versus Gremlins here on Essentials.tf, and then on Sunday you got a double billing. You got the Chase versus Expose Me, and Club Lugs versus Alpha Glock as well over on Pridstream GG. But that is all we have time for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful evening, great week, and more TF2 to come your way. Good night.